Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special draft here on the channel. Today, we are joined by a guest I've been wanting to have on for a long time, and in the recent Pro Tour, he went 6-0 in the limited portion, had a fantastic showing there. He's also been a Black Lotus winner in a big Magic the Gathering Summit event, a tournament with over 800 players, and just really an all-around great guy. It's Greg from System Magic. Welcome to the channel.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. We've been talking about doing this for so long, and I'm so excited that we finally made it happen.
I am very excited as well. You're one of my favorite people in Magic. You're the person I was rooting for when I was at the regional championship. You're also just a great person, and I'm really happy to be able to get a collaboration, share some of your stuff with viewers. But yeah, just diving right in.
Advice to you, by the way. I love watching your content, and I'm a big fan.
Thank you, Greg. But before, just so folks know a little bit more about you, you have System Magic. So there's a Twitch channel, a YouTube channel, and you are System Magic Greg on Twitter for folks who want to find Greg. But we're going to start talking about the format because, as I mentioned, Greg did go undefeated at the most recent Pro Tour playing Thunder Junction Limited. So I guess my first question for you is, what are your big picture thoughts on the format that helped you have such a successful run?
Yeah, I would love to talk about it because I think my take on the format is a little different than what I've heard from a lot of people. Going into the Pro Tour, I know talking with other competitors, talking with my friends and teammates, there was a consensus that, well, green is the best color, which I agree with, and that one of the best things to do in the format is to be a 5-color soup deck. That there's really high power cards going around. There's lots of good fixing with the cycle of common deserts, which are also good to enable crimes. That if you take fixing highly and take crime deserts really highly, you can end up kind of splashing whatever bombs you end up opening or whatever powerful cards you end up having passed to you. And as a result, the sense I've gotten from people is that people take these crime deserts really, really highly. My experience coming into the format was a little different. I agree that the power is really high, but I kind of had a different takeaway, which is that if you find the open lane in your seat, if you find which 2 colors are open, you end up just kind of getting the most powerful cards in those 2 colors. And I loved playing 2-color fair decks, whether it's green-white, green-red, blue-white, blue-red, red-black, blue-black even, not so high on that one. I think some of the Sultai colors really encourage you to be splashing and reaching out into other colors. Yeah. But I had a good experience with almost every kind of 2-color fair archetype that is not inside the Sultai wedge. And so at the Pro Tour, I drafted kind of one red-white 2-color fair deck and one green-red 2-color fair deck. I ended up splashing for an Annie Flash that I got in pack 3.
That makes sense.
Second one. And obviously, that card's quite strong, so it's worth the splash. But I looked around at the table, and everyone was playing these kind of 5-color piles with deserts and power, but a lack of consistency. And my kind of 2-color decks were able to kind of combine their consistency with the power of kind of picking up late cards that were wheeling, since I kind of believe I found the open lane in both my drafts. Now, I was a little lucky. I played both of the people who were to my right, so they were passing to me 2 out of 3 packs. Both of them told me after the draft that they were really highly prioritizing deserts. Both of them had 7+ deserts in their deck.
Oh my gosh.
Which was great for me because I didn't want to take deserts that highly. So knowing that the person next to me was really prioritizing them was great for me because then I got to take the powerful non-land cards that they weren't picking.
Yeah, that's really cool, especially because in a Pro Tour, there are players like that, whereas in a normal draft pod that a lot of people go to at FNM, maybe they can just like get late deserts, so they'll see one like 10th pick because people just like don't realize how good they can be. But you kind of were at the advanced level where you were like, well, I know that all these Pro Tour competitors really like these, so I'm going to go the opposite approach and go for a consistent 2-color deck that doesn't need the deserts, which is a really cool strategy to go for. And maybe like that cohesion, especially because I assume that a Pro Tour draft, you have slightly lower card quality because everyone's fighting over the good cards. Is that like, that's kind of what I've heard over the years. Is that kind of how it works out?
Yeah, that's definitely true. You're in a pod with 8 skilled players who are all good drafters, who are all really experienced. Sometimes you're on Arena and you're like, what in the world is this card still doing in the pack? That is not a phenomenon that happens quite as much at the pro level.
Yeah.
it still happens sometimes. Like, for example, I was much higher than I think everyone in all my drafts on the card Jailbreak Scheme, which is the spree card that lets you put a thing on top. I think that's just
Hmm.
a pretty good removal spell, one of blue's best commons. And
Yeah.
I wasn't in blue either draft, but I saw that card going really, really late in both of the drafts I was in. And I was kind of like, what is this doing here? And I took it both times because I thought it was maybe a signal that blue was open and I was trying to be in the open colors. But it turned out it was just a weird one off both times.
Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of, I think sometimes I think people like hear that a color is bad, and so some teams or players might be more prone to avoid a color at all costs, especially with a lot on the line in a pro tour, instead of being more flexible like that. I tend to adopt the
yeah,
flexible strategy as well because it's not only more fun because you get to like read signals instead of forcing a mediocre version of an archetype that someone else is playing, but it's also like you can get really strong cards late if you do find the open colors. I did before we get
absolutely.
into
Another
the
nice,
oh yeah,
oh,
continue, but by all means
just
continue.
one quick example on the point you were just saying is that one two color draft I was really not looking forward to draft was black white. I just
Hmm.
had not very much success with black white when I tried drafting it pre the pro tour,
Hmm.
and it turned out another team, which I wish I knew which team it was, but I don't. They also identified that black white wasn't that good, but thought it would be underdrafted, and it was actually the deck that had the most trophies in day one of the pro tour because
Wow.
I think no one wanted to be black white, so black white was super open. And so if you identified that and played a straight black white deck, it ended up being quite powerful.
That's
Um,
genius. I know that you were on a testing team. Did you guys have that sort of conversation about what you as a team wanted to do, or did you guys just focus on other things?
No, we talked a lot about limited, and so I was on Team Sanctum of All. Huge shout out to Team Sanctum of All.
Yeah.
They had an excellent pro tour all around, and I was thrilled to be a part of their team. A lot of the Team Sanctum folks were really high on these five color soup decks, and if you've been
Hmm.
following the pro tour, you know people like CFD Soak or Jason Yee who are really well known for their kind of weird, innovative deck lists. They love the five color stuff in this format. And for me, I was trying to press like, look, the five color decks are really good, but don't be afraid to find the open lane and stick to two colors because you can end up with really, really powerful decks.
Yeah, exactly. One last thing I did want to ask you about, because during the Pro Tour you played against both the finalist and the ultimate winner in Yoshihiko Ikawa and Yuta Takahashi, who played in the finals. They're both Japanese players. They're both really great. But what was it like playing against them? Did you like feel like any intimidation facing them, or what were the matchups like for just playing against the people that ended up doing so well in the tournament?
Yeah, well, when you go late in a tournament, you often play against most of the top eight. I played against four out of the eight top eight in the tournament, so that's half,
Hmm.
including both of the finalists, as you mentioned, who I played both on day one. Um, I didn't know Yoshihiko Ikawa very well, and so I was not intimidated at all by him. Yuta Takahashi is the person on the Card Fairy Mastermind,
Yeah.
which I've played my fair share of, and he does look a lot like the card.
Yeah.
And that was intimidating. I was like, holy cow. And he was playing constructed. I actually had a draw against him in day one.
Hmm.
And I actually, okay, here's an exclusive. Nobody likes bad beat takes. I actually think in both my matches against the two finalists, I made a play mistake that I regretted almost immediately. And I think in both times it cost me the match. And so not
Whoa.
only did I play against them, but I think I came incredibly close to beating both of them. Um,
Wow. That's
and
great. Yeah.
one of them was that I did not know Long Goodbye could target a planeswalker. So I didn't take it off a duress. And then they Long Goodbyed my Liliana, and I was very sad. Um,
Yeah.
but
That's
anyway,
about, yeah. That's how it goes
it's hard to
sometimes.
dwell in the past. In a long match, you obviously everyone makes a few play mistakes here or there. It's hard to play
Yeah.
perfectly. And it
Yeah.
was kind of the end of a really long day of pro level Magic too. Um,
Yeah. Well, let's
but it
dive
is.
into the
I did
draft.
have the best tiebreakers in the entire tournament as a
Yeah.
result of playing the two eventual finalists.
Yeah, I
But
think it's funny too because as you were saying, you got to put it behind you. That's one of the things that I, as a player, struggle with the most. Where if I make a mistake in like I don't take a card and then it would have worked out better for me, like in like an arena open or something. In a normal draft, I don't usually care as much. Or like I make a play mistake in one round, it like stays with me, which is like it's kind of you have to
yeah,
be almost like a golfer where if a golfer screws up one golf shot, they have to be able to bounce back and hit the next one just as well as they want to instead of just dwelling on the past. It's a little death loop you can find yourself in if you're not careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Magic, I've talked a lot about this in content that I've done and done with other people, but professional Magic is a lot about your mindset. And
Hmm.
it's trying your best to kind of enjoy the ride and having fun and not getting bogged down by your mistakes is incredibly important.
Yeah, 100%. Okie doke. Big pack. Here we go. We have. Okay. So when you open a pack, what do you generally look at? Do you go to the rare first? Do you like go from top to bottom? For some reason, I often go bottom to top. I don't know why. But just walk me through your approach to this sort of pack.
Yeah, I'll try and go quick. So one of the things that we do in Pro Tour testing meetings is we make a list of all the rares that are better than every single uncommon. So if you see
Hmm.
that rare, you know right away you're going to take it. And then we
Hmm.
make a list of the uncommons that are better than every single common. And so if you
Right.
see one of those uncommons, you know, don't even have to bother um,
Oh,
looking
nice.
at the commons, and that's a common thing of pre-PT testing.
Hmm.
Duelist of the Mind is our rare here. I like this card. I don't think it's a bomb by any means. I think
Yeah.
it's much better in constructed than limited. I'm
Hmm.
not sure it's better in the crime deck than Blood Hustler, which is a
Yeah.
card I think is quite strong.
Yeah.
Um, I
I'm.
love Omen for Vigilante in fair decks. I
Yeah.
take the Hustler here, I think.
I'm leaning towards Hustler as well. I actually, there's a 2 mana. I had the pick in one of my drafts between the Duelist of the Mind and the 2 mana 0/5 Crab that you can like loot every every turn. And I
Mm-hmm.
took the Crab over the Duelist of the Mind, and it was like I think I had the exact same pick later in the draft, and I picked the opposite one just to see how they played out. And I actually like there were some games where Duelist is better, and there's some games where the Crab is better, but that's kind of where I view the card in terms of like its potential power level a lot of the time.
And here I think we're being, pretty rewarded. We took a strong black card. I think the strongest card in this pack is Shoot the Sheriff.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can be a little awkward because it doesn't hit everything, but against green decks especially, which are the most powerful, it's one of the best cards you can have in the whole format.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I know a lot of people who would take the Desert here.
Yeah. Like second
Who would
pick
just
right
say,
off the bat.
yep, yep, who would just say it's good with the Blood Hustler. Those are good colors to be into Splash. We want to get our fixing out of the way. But that's not how I draft. I
Yeah.
would say slam the Shoot the Sheriff and go from here.
I'm the sort of player that doesn't take the desert here and then like 5 picks down the line is like, man, I don't see any deserts in the pack. I'd really like one.
Yep.
I think we're getting rewarded again. There's another Shoot the Sheriff.
I
Um,
think we should take it. Yeah, again, against some decks, having two Shoot the Sheriffs is a weakness, but you can
mhm.
usually find somewhere to target them. So yeah, I just take it. I think. Let's see
Yeah.
what else is in the pack. There's a
There's a Mourner Surprise. There is this duplicator card, which I think goes
yeah.
infinite with Mindslaver if you happen to get
Wait,
a bunch of
it
crazy
does.
stuff.
Someone drafted that in PT testing, and they went 0-3. So
One,
I would not recommend it.
yeah, there's also Bandit's Hole, which is a card I like as well. Just for crimes,
Yep.
you get some extra cards out of the deal. It's weird. There's not a
And
single red card or white card in this pack.
yeah. If I was a bigger fan of splashing, I think I would say take the Bandit Hall over Shoot the Sheriff here. I know a lot of people
Hmm.
who would do that, but again, I love being a fair two-color deck. I would say
Hmm.
take the Shoot the Sheriff. And
Is not seeing a single white card or red card like a red flag to you even at pick 3, or is that just something that you're like, okay, it's just an anomalous pack?
I think it's more likely to just be an anomalous pack these days
Hmm.
in the Play Booster era. It's
Hmm.
something I would note. Like again, no white cards in this pack.
Other than the
So,
Pixie.
oh, sorry, other than the Pixie, I missed that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I am not as high on Villainous Wealth than most. I've seen it be bad with like spree cards, and
Hmm.
it's hard to get up to enough mana to have it be good. I think it's a lot worse than it was in cons.
Hmm.
Um,
So
oh god, it might still be the pick though.
yeah, I mean, we could take Villainous Wealth, and then you don't necessarily have to suffer the consequences of playing it out if you don't stick around for all the games. One thing I like to say is, if we win the draft, it's all because of the guests, and if we lose the draft, it's all because of my gameplay. So it's really a
Wow,
low
love that.
downside for you
I
here.
I do think Dance of the Tumbleweeds or either of the red cards in that pack are totally defensible picks.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so too. This is a for funsies card as well. There's another Blood Hustler. There's a
yeah.
Consuming Ashes. Black is looking open here, I will
Black
say.
is looking super open. It's definitely. I think it's one of the weaker colors in this set. I've heard a lot of people say the opposite.
Hmm.
But I think Blood Hustler is a very strong card. I would take it.
Yeah. Blood Hustler's funny because I initially was rating it pretty low because I was playing a lot of blue decks, And so I would just have like a
Hmm.
bounce spell, and I would like just they would invest like 4 turns making their Blood Hustler like big enough to attack past my 3/3, and then I'd bounce it, and it would just be like this card's a joke. But if you're actually just building it up, we have already got 2 of them. We're gonna probably then prioritize. Maybe we'll prioritize deserts. I don't know. I don't really prioritize them either. I'm kind of on the same mindset as you. I think when it comes to that. Black red is looking really
Okay.
open, by the way. Like I have to say, black red is
Well,
looking absurdly open.
yeah, red is looking quite open. I think Explosive Derailment's a great pick here. I think Vile Smash is a great pick here. I think Back for More is also quite a reasonable pick here.
Oh, you're
I
right.
think
We have the
maybe
villainous wealth too.
I think maybe I would just take the Vile Smasher and kind of ignore the Villainous Wealth for now.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, one thing that I, as like a personal draft philosophy in these sorts of sets, where I think a lot of people really like drafting green. There's like no like we haven't really seen any like monocolored green cards coming by other than Dance of the Tumbleweeds. But in these sorts of sets, I kind of have this bar for like, oh, I will start drafting green for this card or something like that. Where I think if you don't have like a really good green card, if you start taking like medium green cards or situational green cards, and all of a sudden you end up like trying to play a color that like 4 other players in the pot are drafting, so you're not going to get anything late to support it. So you really have to have a strong
that
like base to draft it.
that's absolutely right. I do think green in this set is deep enough that even if
Mm-hmm.
people around you are in green, you can end up with a good green deck. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. We found the open lanes. Here it is, a pick 7 gold card. That's awesome, right?
Yeah,
Like we stayed open. I mean, okay, we did commit to our first pick, but not that hard. And we stayed
yeah,
in black. We moved into red because it was open, and now we have a pretty good card pretty late in the draft.
yeah. And we're just getting like good cards every pick. It's like we haven't had a miss yet. I mean, the villainous wealth pick was like a speculative one when we only had black cards, so
Sure.
that's totally like
Yeah.
okay, maybe we'll go this direction. But then we got immediately Vile Smasher. We were like, okay, red seeming open, and we're kind of just like chilling.
I
We could
will
still
say,
transition away from
yep,
blue, and we could still,
definitely.
yeah,
Since I never end up with any deserts, I kind of hate deserts too. It's almost always just 2 mana -2/-2 in my
yeah.
deck,
What do
which
you
is
want to
not
take
very good.
instead?
I take it in this pack. I just I've heard some
Yeah.
people say it's one of the best commons in the set, and that really does not align with my experience. Oh, this is
Yeah.
a hard pick. Um, I
Uh,
think with 2 Blood Hustlers, I think I just want to take
yeah.
the desert.
I was gonna say this
Um,
is for me. I'm gonna take Festering Gulch here every time because it's the only time I'll ever see a desert. I think the Derailment's good
yeah,
though. I just think with 2 Blood
I agree.
Hustlers and the Deserts Stew,
Yeah,
I really think like Desert Stew can be really good if you have like 3 deserts. It feels broken when you cast it as like a 2 mana like what grapple with darkness, or what's the there's like a,
yeah.
oh my gosh, pick 10.
All right, well, I'm glad we have this Bedevil. I'm glad we didn't take Explosive Derailment. I mean,
Yeah,
look, Bedevil's nothing insane. You know, it's kind of just a murder that's a
yeah,
little harder to cast and slightly more flexible, but I don't know. I like playing murder.
yeah.
Um,
Magic
to
cards
speak
without
on red black.
context.
Also, this is a late crown.
Yeah.
Blue red is not the most powerful archetype, but that card is the reason to draft.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
Crom. I think Crom was great. This was the pack that had no red or white cards in it, so a bit
that's
strange.
true.
This is called the build your collection pick, where you technically fill your
Gotta take the
vaults.
mythic for your collection.
You build
Big
the
fan
vault
of
slightly
that.
faster. Are you one of, like
Yep.
I know that you probably don't do that like at the pro tour, you probably just want to make sure that nobody oh my
Oh my gosh.
god. Oh, this is
So
this skillfully
I will
done.
say at the Pro Tour, the cards all have these cool stamps on them to stop
Yep.
people from cheating. And
Yeah.
sometimes you see a pack and you're like, I know I'm not. Wow. Y- yeah. You might want to take. I don't know. I would take Savage Smash here, but if you want the Mythic for your collection, I won't judge you.
I would have taken the
Um,
Savage Smash. I just like wasn't sure which one you were leaning towards. So I just picked
sure.
one at random. I don't think we're playing either one.
Yeah. Okay. Some real bangers in this pack.
This
Dust Animus
card.
and Outlaws Merriment are both incredible cards, both in the, I would say, better than all the uncommons tier, but we can't really cast them.
Yeah.
However, 2 of the best uncommons in the set. One is the 3rd Blood Hustler, and then I think this Sandstorm Summoner is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
We don't have any way to turn it. We don't have like any mercenary tokens, although Red Black has a lot of mercenary tokens.
Mhm.
You have a leaning here?
I like just taking another Blood Hustler, mostly because it lets us then lean towards cards that are good with the 2 Blood Hustlers we already have. Maybe take a couple of like weaker cards that enable crimes.
Great,
And
I love
also
that.
I like this card in green decks, or in decks that just have like the like gold pan equipment or things like that.
Yeah.
Also,
I've found
yeah.
the summoner is pretty easy to turn on in like red X for any X.
Yeah.
Whoa, what is that one? Oh, that's Leyline Binding.
And this is
Okay.
Oltec Matter Weaver, which is also just a absurdly like broken card almost.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong card. I think it's been it's definitely good, not like 10 out of 10 is how I'd rate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. This is a weird pack though.
Okay.
There's
I
not much
mean,
for us
yeah, we
here.
should. Yeah, since there's nothing for us and there's this lovely desert, I think we should take the desert.
Yeah.
Although
Not a single
there are
black
just
card.
3 white rares. uh,
One white rare and 2 white mythics.
yes, that's right.
That's
So whoever was cutting white is gonna be rewarded from this one. Now that
yeah.
green 2-drop is a really good green 2-drop, but it's not a good card to splash. So
Yeah. So you were saying about, just while we have an extra second, you were saying about the stamps on the cards at the Pro Tour.
oh yeah, the stamps. Sometimes, like for example, there was a escape shift. Oh man.
Oh.
Escape shift is like not playable in limited, but I was really tempted to take it because it's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, this Green Blade is one of the best cards, best uncommons in the set. We
Yeah.
could be green black splashing red if we take it.
Yeah.
And although, man, I don't know, we have good red cards. It might just be better to take Prickly Pear actually, or Prickly Pear is quite good.
I'm down to speculate on this guy because it could be like one of the best cards. I don't think we're going to get a lot of deserts in pack 3, but we could still play this Villainous Wealth if we end up playing like a deserts deck.
That's true. Since I like 2-color fair stuff, I would take Prickly Pear, I think.
Let's do it. You're the guest. I will follow you to the ends of the earth. It's like
thanks, Nikolai.
That's how I operate. That's how I roll. Okay. I like playing 2-color fair decks too. Okay, there's a Cunning Coyote here. There's another desert. Both of which
I'd just take the Cunning Coyote, I think.
You would take the Coyote, even with Triple Blood Hustler. You still like the...
Okay, you might be right. Maybe we should take the desert.
I just kind of like the idea of... that's one of the reasons why, by the way, why I thought Blood Hustler was a good pick there, because it then lets us prioritize cards that are good with Blood Hustler in the future, potentially. Whereas normally,
right.
I would normally be on Coyote here like almost every time because this card's really good. I do find that it's not as good in black-red because your creatures aren't as big, so you're not like hastening out like monsters all the time. But
it's very good with the summoner that we passed. Ooh, all right.
Yeah,
well,
it's really good with the summoner.
That.
Another Vial Smasher. There's also a Vault Plunderer. What are your thoughts on these like 3-drop 2-for-1 creatures? Like, are they? Because I hear people say like, oh, these like. It's like you need to be getting more value than just a 2. Like they're not like in any other set, a lot of sets this would be like already it'd be like, oh my gosh, pick 5. How is this still in the pack? It's a 2-for-1 on a 3 reasonable statted creature. But in this set, it feels like they're a dime a dozen or something.
I think that's exactly right. I mean, they're good. You can play them. I like playing the Wolverine. I like playing the Vault Plunderer, but you don't really need to prioritize them because there are enough of them. There's value to go around that you can go late. Ooh.
We're getting really rewarded. Red black is so open. This is ridiculous. There's Scale Storm, Scorching Shot. There's even like Robbery and Bloodseeker as black-red cards. But which one of these do you like more?
Oh, yeah. I would take the Summoner. I think its upside is really high. We got a Prickly Pear that can turn it on.
Prickly Pear is looking really good with double.
Yep, Prickly Pear very good with double. Yeah, we definitely got rewarded for that pick. Scorching Shot, very good, but our removal is incredible right now, so I want to prioritize good creatures. I think.
Boom, another Derailment.
Yeah,
There's also
I'd take it.
Mindbreaker and Pan. I only like Pan because of this Summoner.
Yeah, the blue-red card is a little interesting. We do have Bedevil and Terminal Agony, but I think I just take the Derailment.
Yeah. Oh, you're right, because we have both of those. That's very interesting, yeah. When you have Terminal Agony, do you like take discard effects like slightly higher?
Definitely. In fact, I had forgotten about that, but it's something we should keep an eye out for.
Yeah. Okay. There's Outlaws Fury, Quick Draw. I've played Quick Draw like one time.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Quick Draw. I would take the Outlaws Fury, but our deck's really creature light right now, so I think we're pretty unlikely to find a home for it. But
yeah, it's good to just get it in case we need it.
If we were to find like 4, yeah, I mean, look, I was really hoping the Prickly Pear would wheel. There's also a desert. Like, I think we could take the Summoner.
Which one do you want to take? There's the Desert. Desert seems actually pretty good. You want to take Summoner?
I take Summoner, yeah.
It's also a Warlock, so it goes with the Vial Smasher, all the Outlaws. Yeah, Summoner's really good. Wow.
Oh yeah, I wish. Yeah, I mean the lizard kind of sucks.
Yeah, the
As this
lizard.
quick draw.
Yeah.
I would take it and put it where it belongs.
Yeah. It also builds the vault collection slightly faster. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that's true. Oh
This
yeah.
is
Oh,
this
that
is
card.
really this is insane.
See, this is what we were just saying. Like this card's good. You want to play it in most of your black decks. It is not worth prioritizing.
Nice.
Oh,
More.
get that guy in
The
there.
synergy. Yes.
Combo.
We have
A
so many good
combo.
cards. We have so much removal. It's like not
We
even
have
like we're taking it highly. We got explosive derailment with 2 cards in the pack. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay, so here's something to know. So when you end up in these heavy removal decks, something that you want to be aware of
Mm-hmm.
is that okay, your removal is all incredible, but like if your opponent plays like a random 3/3, you don't want to have to fire off a great removal spell on it. So having like good sized body creatures is really nice. I really like the black 5 mana 5/4 index like this because it's just like
Really?
a big thing to kind of stabilize the board and lets you save your removal for other things. Um,
Interesting. Okay.
this back kind of sucks. I think you should probably take the Wolverine.
Yeah. A little bit of value.
Yeah.
Yeah. The black 5/4, I haven't actually played it before, and it's only been played against me a single time. It's interesting because yeah, I have not I just assumed that it's been kind of like underpowered, and that's why I haven't seen it, but it maybe has a home in these sorts of decks where you just have
It's
infinite
not a
removal.
good. Yeah, it's not a good card, but when you can like use that to blank your opponent's early threats and then save your removal for their good cards, that's really
Mm-hmm.
nice. Yeah, I love the apothecary. Let's take the
I
on
do
color
too.
fixing desert.
Yeah, on color fixing is so nice. I just love being able to be like, okay, I'm playing my like 17 land deck. I've got these. I had like a rule that I made with myself where I would just like always take the on color desert unless there was something like if it's both my colors. Like the half on color ones are like take it or leave it, but when it's both colors, it's super valuable just for the fixing alone. And then I do want more ways to buff up this Scale Storm Summoner.
Definitely, I think that should be a high priority.
I think Blood
I'll
Hustler could
also
also get
say,
to 4/4.
yep, I don't think we'll play it here, but Sandstorm Verge is a card I love and a great reward for being the 2-color fair deck because people splashing can't afford to play it. But if you are a 2-color fair deck, you can always play it.
Sandstorm Verge is it's the monocolored desert.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
colorless desert
Yeah.
that makes it hard for them to block.
Right, right.
So I haven't actually played the card Rakish Crew. But if there's a home for it, we might be in it.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Every card in our deck is an outlaw except for this Wolverine.
Except the Wolverine, and it's another mercenary to pump our summoners.
Yeah.
I think we should take Rakish Crew. We don't need more good removal. We don't need the Consuming Ashes.
Yeah, you're right. I've never played this card, but this is the deck for it.
The card we would love is At Knife Point. At Knife Point would just like bring the whole room together.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out. It's the uncommon that can give you all your outlaws first strike on your turn and makes an outlaw every time you commit a crime. Okay, so now there's 2 prickly pairs. There's a murder, there's a treasure dredger, and there's another crime land.
I would take Prickly Pear here.
You would take prickly pear?
It's really good. Yep, it's really good with our Vile Smashers. It's really good with our Summoners. It's just a powerful card. It's good with Rakish Crew.
Yeah. I would probably take the land and then wheel one of the prickly
on.
pears. I feel like one of them might wheel, but I respect the prickly pear pick. It's so good with we need more things that go with this summoner anyway.
Yeah. Ooh, speaking of things that go with the summoner,
the Gillicourser, let's go.
I think we should take the Gillicourser. Yep.
I like that. I like that pick. I mean, the other options also suck, but I mean, Lively Darts I like specifically if you have like a really good 4-drop to go get.
For sure. Or like, we have one of our hustlers trade off and we go search for a second hustler and bring them both back. It's a fine card. I've been a little impressed by it compared to what I expected, but
yeah,
I take
same.
this here.
Same. I thought it was going to be unplayable, but it's not.
Yeah.
What you said
yeah,
also?
I take the desert, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say also the 5 mana 4/5 is kind of like the 5 mana 5/4. Not that exciting of a card, but like sometimes in your removal heavy decks, you just want like a big, beefy, random creature.
Where do you add on Demonic Ruckus? Because I always cut this card from my deck. I never really see it played, but it like always then I always think it sounds like it would be good in theory.
Yeah, it's perfectly playable. It's nothing that exciting.
This
Yeah,
this
I would take this card.
this card seems insane. We have 2 prickly pears. Every card's an outlaw. This
Yep.
card's oh my gosh. This
We
deck
need more
feels unfair.
creatures, and this is a big creature. I'm
Yeah.
pretty happy to have this.
I think this deck is incredible right now. Like I'm very happy with this
Yep.
deck.
2-color fair decks.
Is this what it's like drafting at the Pro Tour, Greg? Is this what it's like?
No.
Do they just you just get 8-pick Scalestorm summoners and you wheel everything? I mean, this is great. My goodness. Oh my gosh. This is the dream. We have such a good deck right now.
Yeah. I mean, notably, this is a really high power format, so like a lot of stuff can go wrong.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty unlikely to play I take the oh no, that's not the Raven, that's the Buzzard. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't like the Buzzard.
I don't know. Take what you feel. I don't think we should play whatever we take.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, the combo. I just took the steal their guy, stack their guy.
That's true. I would take Highway Robbery here.
Yeah.
I like I will play one of these in every single red deck I have. It's nothing to write home about, but I'm never sad to have it. And so I think it almost always makes your deck.
Do you like Mind Raider or Bloodseeker?
I take the 2-drop.
Our 8th 2-drop.
Yeah, I mean it also.
We have a lot of 3s anyway.
Prime.
Yeah, true.
Nice. Yeah, we also have a million 3s. So.
Yeah. Just wheel it all.
I take the Lively Dirge. I'm not sure we're gonna play it, but we might.
Yeah.
Also,
I have not been impressed by Gigapede.
That card. Wait, I think we are in a good Gigapede deck.
Yeah.
We have a million kill spells. Like we'll kill all their important stuff. It can pick off a small thing, and like if the board is totally empty, a 6-power thing is really threatening. It turns on the summoners, which we now have 3 of. I think Gigapede should be in our deck.
This deck is insane. It's just what the heck. 40.
Yeah, I mean, now let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Like the power in this format is really high.
We don't have a single rare, by the way. I'm realizing.
Right. Yep, we don't have any like insane bombs.
We don't even have a rare. Our highest rarity is uncommon.
No,
Bedevil's a rare. No, it's ruining our synergy. Yeah. We have to cut it. No, he doesn't play well with others. He's bragging about his rarity status. My gosh.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna sort this by removal spells and others, because that way we can
get
a better sense of things. So when you're making this sort of deck, what are your like places you're looking for things to make cuts? Are you looking for a certain creature count? Are you looking for a certain like number of outlaws to make your brutes work, or do you just how many 2-drops are you looking for? What sorts of things do you consider when you're making your like last 5 cuts here?
Yeah, great question. I don't have any hard numbers. I mean, I think some people will say things like, "Oh, you always have to have at least 15 creatures. You always have to have XDX 2-drops." I think that forcing yourself into binds like that is often not very helpful. I think you have to be careful with if you have tons of removal, you need to make sure you have some creatures so you don't just like have to target removal at every single thing they have. If you have a lot of things that need creatures, maybe you have like fight spells or equipment or auras, you need to like not get overloaded on things like that. But here, I think I'd probably just try and cut the 5 worst cards.
Okay.
Which I think the Lively Dirge can go. We don't have anything that exciting to find. I think the Wolverine can go. It's not an outlaw. We have good value elsewhere. Like we want to commit to the board, so plotting it on 3 is kind of awkward. We just kind of got there on better 3-drops. I would cut 2. I think I'd cut the Discerning Peddler, maybe.
That seems fair to me.
I like that the Bloodseeker can be a crime. You can mill them, and then it triggers your.
And lifelink is relevant.
Yep. Although now that I'm saying this, 6 2-drops I think might be plenty. I think actually the answer might be of them both.
Yep.
Or maybe I think I'm trying to think if I.
It does have synergy with our Terminal Agony a little bit as well.
That's true, though. We also have Highway Robbery, and we don't need to work that hard to turn on the.
And we might need to cut a removal spell anyway. Like we have.
Yeah, we might just cut a removal spell. I agree. And this is
might
the
be
best
our worst
of one,
one,
right?
Yeah, this is best of one.
Okay. If it was the best of 3 queue, you could think about hiding out Suit the Sheriff against, like if we played against
Yeah.
this deck exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The other card, I think it's possible Rakish Crew is the right cut.
The Rakish
But
Crew in our 15 Outlaw double Scalestorm,
yeah, maybe.
triple Scalestorm Summoner deck.
Okay, I think I'd keep it in for science.
I like keeping it in for science. I agree with that
Yeah.
mentality. Man, we're gonna play like
yeah,
a turn 4. Oh, this is gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, I believe in the Gigapede in this deck. I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you might be right about cutting Terminal Agony actually.
Yeah, we have a lot of good removal spells. We have a couple unconditional ones even. Desert's Dew actually turned out really good in this deck. I think this is the sort of deck why people like it, because if it's 2 mana -4, -4, -3, -3, it's pretty good.
Absolutely, yeah.
And now we have 7, 8, 9, 9 black, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red. So about 50-50. Seems pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, this is an awesome deck. And Greg's actually going to stick with us for a couple of the games at least. So we'll get to hear his thoughts on gameplay as well.
I would love to stick with you for a game or two. Hold on 1 second.
Excellent. We'll take a short break and get to the games. Before I get to the games, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support the NicolaiBolas channel at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. It is thanks to Patreon support that I'm able to make as many videos as I do, and I really do appreciate everybody who contributes towards the success of the channel. If you're enjoying my videos and would like to support my content directly, Patreon is the best way to do so, and you gain access to some cool perks along the way, such as access to my card-by-card tier list for each set and other cool benefits. Special shout out to those patrons who support my channel at the credits level. I really do appreciate it, but without further ado, let's get to the games. Okie doke, welcome to round 1, everybody. Greg is still with us. He's going to play 2 games with us, so we get to have all that insight for a couple of games here from a high-level competitor. I think this is a pretty easy keep. What do you think?
8 hands.
Yeah. I love turn 2 Vial Smasher. I always love having the gold uncommons. It makes me feel so proud of whatever deck I have. It's like...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when you get the 8 in the draft is the best feeling.
Yeah. Also, the artwork on this card just makes me like it. Like, I'm definitely the sort of person that is sometimes like, man, I really hope this card is good because the artwork is awesome.
I mean, most of my team played this card in Constructed, although admittedly I did not.
Oh, because it's part of like an infinite combo with
Yep.
With your Slowgurk deck.
That's exactly right.
Nice. Do you like attacking here or into a potential the steer clear card?
I do. I would have played the Prickly Pear pre-combat because of that.
Yeah,
but I would
that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. I was thinking
also,
about that.
Fierce Retribution is another card they could have, but...
Which card could they have had?
Fierce Retribution on the bonus sheet.
Oh, you're right. I don't even... So you had all of the bonus sheet cards, like, committed to memory as well, essentially, in addition to the main set. Okay.
It's a lot of cards to remember. I didn't remember all the mythics on the big score or all the special guests, but...
Yeah, that's
the
interesting.
uncommons definitely show up enough.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why I played the swamp here, so we could play a tap land as well as this. So do you like just bedeviling? Do you like saving our removal? What is your kind of a way to approach this turn?
I would pump the Prickly Pear and attack for 6.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know. Maybe we should just fire off the Bedevil. Actually, let's fire off the Bedevil and hit them for 6.
And the logic being that we'll put them far enough behind, we have enough removal in our deck, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
like
so.
That. I like that as well.
I guess we should play the Mesa.
Yeah, naming red, because if we draw a Blood Hustler this way, we get a lot of extra triggers.
Yep.
Okie doke.
Okay, and now, I mean, we're flooding out a bit, so there's certainly things that could go wrong here, but we have a lot of great draws.
Yeah, so there's like the green-white deck is a deck that a lot of people had like earmarked as a deck that's been really good in this format. Are you like, do you bias towards like decks that you think are strong? Like, I know you like to play these 2-color fair decks, but green-white historically is like kind of a fair deck as well. Is that the sort of deck that you really enjoy playing?
Nope, I love green-white. Big fan.
Yeah. Okay, so now I think we go for the line you suggested, get them a little bit lower.
Yep.
It's one of those spots where they might be a little bit lower than they think because we've got 2 extra damage in hand. Okay. Do you want to play the deserts or just play normal lands still?
I'd play the first desert, I think.
Okay.
Notably, if we draw Blood Hustler here, we actually would want to play an untapped land.
Right.
Because Blood Hustler has its ability.
Right. Blood Hustler was looking really good in this deck. Just draining him out at the end.
Yep.
I feel like the deserts really make it scary to be a defensive deck in this format sometimes if you don't have life gain. There's life gain. Ah. Okay. Do you like killing Vengeful Townsfolk and attacking still, or just starting to slow down?
I think so. I think the Desert Stew is not good. I mean, it's not going to get that much better than killing a 3/3 that'll probably grow, so.
Yeah.
If it were Shoot the Sheriff, I might hold it in case they played something really scary, but.
Yeah. And then tap land or
something to
untap?
note here, I think untapped land is what I'd play.
Okay.
Because if now Blood Hustler, we'd want to play tap land.
Yeah. Play Festering Gulch, activate on there. Keep or something.
Yep. Something I'll point out, they might not be green-white. They might be white something else with a desert. Okay, I would keep playing lands because of Blood Hustler, but yeah.
This is just sometimes how Magic goes. There's nothing you can really do about these sorts of spots. We've there's been totally. It would be really funny if they were just playing like red green or something, or white red or something.
Or like red white or blue white.
They've just been color screwed the whole time.
Probably...
Yeah. This is also what you meant about not like making sure you have creatures in your heavy removal deck, because if we like say drew a removal spell here, we'd have to like kill this and we still wouldn't have any pressure or whatever. And where like
Ambush Gigapede is maybe the best draw in our entire deck right now.
Oh yeah, Ambush Gigapede. The legend. Okay. So we can attack for 1. Looks like they just have a hand of removal potentially.
That's probably right. Is not great for us, but nothing we can do
we have
about
some
that.
good cards that we could draw. I think our best draw might be Highway Robbery into Ambush Gigapede. I'm thinking
good point.
Or Blood Hustler would be really good. And then we mill ourselves here or mill them?
We would probably mill ourselves, yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason to... We don't have any graveyard shenanigans, but we don't know if they do either. Okay. Yeah, I suspect they have some sort of kill spells here. Drover Grizzly, okay. So when you're playing in like a high level event, is there like a strategy you use with regards to like holding lands in your hand versus having like extra bluff equity or whatever, or versus like being able to potentially draw card draw? What is your like strategy when it comes to holding lands in hand?
I think 9 times out of 10 when people hold lands, it's wrong.
Okay.
Usually you should just play your own. Here I like holding this 1 prime land because of future Blood Hustlers.
Yeah, but if it was like a mountain, you would just play it.
Yep, especially because the card we're thinking of, Highway Robbery, notably doesn't punish you for playing out all your lands.
Right.
Because of how it's worded. So.
Okay. So
I would draw a card here.
Yeah, play it first. Yep. We'll see. Get all of our information we can. What do we think is in their hand? Because they haven't been playing lands, so I guess they could technically be holding.
Question. And I would pump the Lightbringer and attack with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Holding works into a kill spell, but I kind of want them to use their kill spell on our OP2 too.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, sure, we don't get to gain some life, but we're not really as worried about our life total as we are about theirs going up.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, okay, perfect. And then we can play Prickly Pear, and I think we still hold this land. 2, 4, 8. Yeah, so we could still like Blood Hustler activate. We're not at risk of not being able to double activate it.
Yep. Maybe something I'll say about the holding lands thing is when you do things like that, you should be able to name the card. Like you should be able to name why you're holding land.
Okay.
Like for example, like we do have the Peddler in our deck as another reason to hold a land. I think we ended up with 1 copy of it. Or do we cut both? Oh, you're right. We cut
I think
both.
we cut both.
Yeah.
But we have the Blood Hustler, which is why if this was a mountain, we would have just played it there because you can like chain draw spells into things or whatever.
Yep.
Or you just need all your land drops. I think our opponent probably has. I don't think they have Saddle up because they would have used their like little punch spell to buff up their Griff permanently. I think in their hand they probably have like a couple of green cards or something, and then they maybe are holding up a Snakeskin Veil or something at this point to protect their congregation.
Yeah,
Griff.
Snakeskin Veil is a good card they could have. That's true.
That's the card I live in fear of in this format.
Yeah. Very smart. Take up the Shield, another one to live in fear of.
They are continually just like going all out here.
Yes.
Gold Rush, okay.
Oof, okay.
They just want to get their life total a bit higher, I guess.
I think so.
Outlaw Medic. It's okay here.
Alright, great draw.
Yeah. My worry is that this thing is going to be protected by something.
I'm worried about that too, but not much we can do about
it. This is a rogue too, which is hilarious, so we can't even kill it.
That's true. I don't think I'd kill it even if we could. But.
Yeah, I don't think I would either. Yeah, I'm just saying it's if we potentially had a lethal attack or 4, 7, 8, 9 or whatever. I just like buffing 2/2, buffing 2/2, attacking with the 2/3/2s.
I like that too.
You're very used to the playing games with another person because on your stream, which I enjoy watching, as I already said, you play games with Andrew Ellenbogen, who's another really good player, also super nice guy.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, Andrew and I are old friends, former Pro Tour champion.
Oh yeah, and the longest reigning Pro Tour champion, in fact, which is an honor.
Because after his Pro Tour, they changed it to Mythic Championship.
Yeah. Okay,
wait. So I want to kill the thing with the draw trigger on the stack.
Kill the Griff?
Yeah, maybe I'm being too cute. That block makes me think they don't have Snakeskin Veil because they might have used it there.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing where it's like, okay, they might not have that, or the indestructible effect because this already has lifelink. The other thing I'm thinking is if we target the Drover Grizzly and they protect it, then we still have a 3/1 that can like block the Drover Grizzly, and we have 3/2s that can attack into it.
Okay, I actually like your play better. I think we should target the Drover Grizzly.
Yeah, because this way, and then if they have like take up the shield, they don't get to gain up life from it, and their congregation Griff, which they're using to crew anyway. I don't think they have more creatures because they might be like playing a creature to crew the Griff so they can attack with both guys potentially then. Because I definitely think they have something that can. Again, the counter is worse for us on the Griff, especially because that's what they're attacking us with. Getaway Glamour. Okay.
Ooh, okay. So it was just to blink it. So okay, that's totally fine.
That actually worked out okay for us as well. I'm glad we did that on our turn then. Actually.
Yep, we got rewarded.
Yeah, I guess it'll come back unsummoning sick, but that's still fine. We don't play the land still, and yeah. Well, if we draw Blood Hustler, it's going to grow very large. Also, now they don't have a removal spell. Maybe. I think they would have used Snakeskin Veil first if they had a Snakeskin Veil.
There we go. I'm not surprised to see another color.
No, please no Anti-Flash. I'm always afraid of Anti-Flash. Oh, okay. I see. Interesting.
Well, this has become bad.
I like buffing Vault Plunderer, buffing Desperate Bloodseeker, attacking with everyone.
Attack with everyone.
Because they can't eat anything. They can just block Griff on a 2/2. But that way, because I'm worried about them starting to ping down our guys with the 1/2 road.
I like your line. I think I'd buff Vault Plunderer twice.
Yeah, that's I like that as well. Yeah, that's better.
Yep.
Incentivize them
having a 3/2 is not that good against the 1/4.
Right. Good call. And this still nets us damage because they block here, gain 1, and then this would deal 2. Yeah.
Yep.
It does let them attack with Grizzly potentially, but I don't think we care about that.
I think we need to get this game done as soon as possible now that they have the Merriment.
Yeah. And I think we play one of these lands afterwards as well.
I agree.
Merriment, I feel like, has lost a step from where it was in Throne of Eldraine. Oh, this is exactly what I was hoping would happen. I don't want this Drover Grizzly in play anymore. And my 1 toughness guy was vulnerable anyway.
Yep.
Okay, play the land. They go to 7. If we get a couple of good draws in a row, we could definitely win this. Also, if we had the Gigapede, that would have been super, super good.
That is true.
Okay,
well, that's probably the best one for us.
Yeah, we won the die roll on that one. Yeah.
Yep.
This Griff has gained up so much life. Okay. Okay. Do you, like, when you play, like, oh my gosh, they're attacking. When you play, like, in Limited, do you generally, like, feel like you could pretty confidently name every single card in your deck? Oh gosh.
Oh, we are so dead. Yeah, I think now is time to, as we like to say on our stream, take a legal game action.
Is that conceding? Is conceding a legal game action? Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think we can win.
Yeah.
Yep. We shall scoop that one up. I think that game was just like we drew way more lands than they did, and didn't draw a mana sink.
Yeah, screw beats flood, as they say.
Yes, and what's even better than screw beats flood is drawing normal amounts of lands, which isn't even mana screw beats flood.
True, they seemed a little gated on at least red mana.
Yeah, it looked like they only had the 1 red card that they were maybe splashing with, and they had the treasure from Gold Rush. Maybe that's why they played Gold Rush, was so they could play it the next turn. I really want to know if they... I feel it's funny because I wonder now if they had like a Snakeskin Veil and never had to use it, or if they were just like sitting there with like a red spell in their hand, and that was one of their 4 cards.
I think when they played the Getaway Glamour, I think if they had Snakeskin Veil, they pretty clearly would have used that one instead.
Yeah. So maybe they were holding up Glamour that time. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, those sorts of games are interesting because sometimes you can just win them by just like both players are drawing cards and you just draw like 3 spells and they draw 3 lands. But it was kind of like we were like 2 spells away from winning that game or something like that. Like 1 more kill spell.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. Okay, again, we have Vile Smasher into Prickly Pear. So that's pretty great. I like this hand.
Great hand. It does look a lot like our hand from last game.
I was about to say, it looks very similar. It has a striking resemblance, in fact. This combo.
Yeah, I mean, our deck is very consistent. We have a lot of duplicates. Oh, there's the Benevolent.
Oh my gosh, it's literally the same hand. Oh man. Oh gosh. And we even have like Swamp. Okay. Oh, now it's an interesting one. So this triggers once a turn. Okay. So it'll trigger whenever we play it.
That targets, right? Yeah. I think I'd be mana efficient here and play the Prickly Pear.
Pre-combat or post-combat?
I'd play it pre-combat for the same reasons discussed last time.
Yeah. They could have a counter spell here. Yeah. But we couldn't have played around that anyway.
Yep.
We're not going to do nothing on our turn. Also, Bloodhustler potentially lets us play around that counterspell in the future. Okay. Wow, treasure. I kind of like just playing Bloodhustler here and then playing Swamp or something.
I love Bloodhustler Swamp.
I like how you make my play feel like such a genius play. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm honored. I have found the line.
Well, you keep suggesting such strong plays.
Exactly. Man, we've got to get 1 win with you as on the line. Okay, here's no attack, I think, because this is such a...
I would chill.
Synergy. Yeah. This card's interesting. I think it's really like whenever I play it, I feel very satisfied, but it's not always a very aggressive card for the like green-white decks of the world.
Yep, it's kind of in the category with the Vault Plunder and the Wolverine, which we were talking about earlier.
Okay, so they really actually needed that land drop. That's interesting. Okay, this guy's probably down for the count. I don't think we can kill that.
Yep, I think I might bedevil their thing here and attack.
I was thinking the same thing, especially because we know they're mana screwed.
Yeah.
They actually really needed that. Sometimes you're like, oh, the treasure actually lets me do a cool play. But here it actually like kind of hurts them. Let me play our land so we can get closer to this guy. It's funny because I think they were playing a blue-green deck splashing white, which was a little misleading when they started with blue and white. But all their cards
Yep.
have been blue and green so far. Oh, this is... Arbidevil play is looking so good now.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful.
Ooh, great draw.
This is the skill that we have developed. Okay, target us to draw a card. Thank you. Do you like playing the tap land now or the untapped land? We still have more Blood Hustlers and...
Yeah, it's hard for me to name it. I guess the untapped land is slightly. Let's play the tap land.
Yeah.
God, it's hard to name it here, yeah. Because Blood Hustler, we just again like
Play an activator.
Blood Hustler would be such a good draw anyway.
Right. Yeah. I also like it because we have other tap lands in the deck, and so like 1 point of extra damage could matter. Nice. And we managed to get a win.
Yeah, we got the win.
Huge. Huge shout out to Greg again for coming on. I'll be playing the rest of these games solo, but if you haven't already checked out his stream, it's System Magic on Twitch. He has a System Magic YouTube channel. On Twitter, he is System Magic Greg. So all things System Magic. He's a great player. I've actually watched, he's one of the players I've watched the most play in person, because I've actually watched him play in person in multiple tournaments, and he's a great player, really fun to watch, and as you can see from this video, really fun to have on as well. Do you have any parting thoughts, Greg?
No, not really. Thank you so much for having me. I love talking about this format, and I am super happy with this deck that we drafted. I hope to be back again someday. I hope to have you on my Twitch stream soon. Again, that's twitch.tv/System Magic. There are 2 M's in the middle. We spell out the full word. And then System Magic Greg on Twitter, or System Magic MTG is our full stream. We stream late at nights. We alternate limited and constructed content. We're both competitive players, so we try to play at a pretty high level. We play a lot of stock decks. If you're looking to play a local RCQ and take it down, we think our stream is one of the best ways out there that you can prepare for that type of tournament.
100%. I agree with all of that, and there will be links to all of these things in the description below if you aren't the best at typing. But thanks so much to Greg, and I will see you folks in the rest of the games. Welcome to another round. Greg has departed, but I do highly, highly encourage you to check out his stuff. As he said, it's a really good way to get better. This is an obvious keep. I actually watch his stuff. Is like the stuff that's like, they also have like a very fun camaraderie, because it's one of the few Twitch streams, I forgot to mention this, where him and Andrew, who are both very skilled players, are talking through their plays and like explaining everything and going through it all together. And the fact that they have a second person there means that they really do have good conversations about why they should do one line versus another. Because sometimes when I make plays, and it's something I try to work on, but I will just be silently thinking through things. But with them, because there's another person there, they kind of have to be like on the ball, like, oh, what are you thinking here? Or, oh, I think we should do this line. What do you think we should do? That sort of thing. And those are the sorts of key decision points that really make it interesting and fun. Okay, so Tumbleweed Rising. Okay, Doki. We're just gonna play this guy out. And if they don't block, we're happy. We have a lot of removal spells in the deck, but Prairie Dog is going to be a problem if we don't have an answer. So, like, you could be trying to do mana-efficient things and just being like, okay, we'll activate this, and then we'll play this and this next turn. But getting this in place so we can, like, threaten activating this and attacking and getting our guy is pretty nice. Prairie Dog immediately getting to do something is pretty scary for me. Buried in the Garden. Okay. There goes the Summoner. That is the risk of the line I took. Okay. Play this. Ping them. And then I think I might actually hold back my 2 guys to try and block this now. I kind of don't want to block, but this will give me at least a sense of whether or not they're willing to attack. Because my greatest fear is they just like activate Prairie Dog and then all of a sudden it's 5/5 and next turn they play this. Just okay. Jolene. So now they won't attack me. Okay. Well, that was a big turn for them. I feel like my deck has a bit of a lands issue. But these guys are going to do a good work, especially if I get to 8 mana, which I will in 2 turns. Okay. I think I will actually preserve these guys. Yeah, I'm just going to chump block here, and the reason I'm chump blocking, even though this is going to be a bigger attacker next turn, is because they can just ping my one guy. And I'm really hoping to draw a removal spell here. Like something to do for 3 mana or less that can kill something. It is a 3 mana play, so I am grateful, but it's not exactly what I wanted. I'm glad they used the treasure, though, because they can't double ping it now. This is what Blood Hustler does best. Oh my gosh, Blood Hustler. Gonna be so good here. Just gonna block there. Take 8. We're not going to give our opponent a chance to, like, activate this in response. Okay. Blood Hustler doing some serious grooving here. But yeah, as I was saying, Greg and Andrew are talking through their plays the whole time, so it's like, oh, kind of like what we were doing during the games, but they do that the entire time, and they also have a bunch of, like, fun bits and stuff like that that they do. We're still not going to attack, though, because we can't really afford to take a big hit. We might have to chump the armadillo. You're coming up. That's not good. They messed that up. What are they doing? Double blocking here because they can put a +1/+1 counter on it. If they'd crewed this thing, I would have lost. 100%. Okay. Okay. Sure thing, buckaroo. I really want to kill this, but I also really want to kill this. Oh, but if I kill it on my turn, then I can get 2 crimes. Oh, no, I can't get 2 crimes. I'm a crime off. I still think killing that is better than killing this. No attack still. This is a crazy game. Blood Hustler doing serious work. I mean, this is the sort of game where you're like, oh, I have drawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spells. And they have drawn 4, 5, 6, 7 spells, and 8 spells, 9, 10, 11 spells, maybe. And I'm still in the game because Blood Hustler is doing, yeah. So they have 11 spells, and I've drawn 6. 9. Because they have 5 lands in play still, remember. Oh my gosh, and they just do nothing. Okay, Rakish Crew. I think double activating this is probably better. This is 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. I think this is just better. I'm not counting on my guys dying right now. As Greg said, Rakish Crew is more of an experimental card here. And having the Jolene dead means that this 1/1 can actually do stuff again. Opponent deep in the tank. I feel like they missed a golden opportunity to crew their Armadillo with the Galloping Inferno. Just like come in for like 1 billion damage. And now my Blood Hustlers slowly drain away. This is synergy as well. They might try to have lethal on board here. Yeah. Definitely blocking there. Definitely blocking here. And if I block here, then I'll take 2, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that means I have to block here. And I take 2, 6, 10, 14. And I'm dead on board anyway. No, I'm dead. Oh, that's so brutal. So if I played Rakish Crew, I would have had an extra chump blocker. Maybe I could have done the math better. 4, 6, 7, 8, 12. Actually, no, I'm not dead. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Congregation Griff, sure. No! Big spell. So now I can hit them, and they have to chump block but one of them. Gosh. I'm so dead. Unfortunately, the lack of spells did me in here. The 2 spells at the end here weren't enough. I'm 1 creature off. Well, actually, I'm 1 life point off. Yeah. Oh, man. I forgot how that worked. It counts itself, so it's 2 +1s. Okay, well, losing a couple games to Flood is no shame in that. I'll see you folks next round. Welcome to another round. Once again, great opener with turn 2 Vial Smasher. We actually have Highway Robbery this game, which could be very essential for us. Lost Jitte. Well, Vial Smasher into Blood Hustler is one of the best possible starts we could have. Personal pack. I'm not going to attack. This is where Desert Stew really does look much worse, as Greg mentioned. Okay. Target them, get another crime trigger. Play land. I really want to plot this, but I also want to use Desert Stew to buff up this guy if they play like a 4-2 or something. I don't want this to let them put a counter on their guy. So we mill a Thunder Salvo and an Aloe Alchemist. Sure. I will kill that, trigger my Blood Hustler. So I guess we're seeing Demonic Ruckus in action. Still just playing it cool. I can activate this guy. I can derailment whatever they go for the Ruckus on. Hopefully. I wish I could, like, save up mana and then kill this thing and do that, but I think this is so much better still. They could have a protection spell. That is something they could have. Snakeskin Veil. Something like that. We also have another explosive derailment as well. Okay. So they trade their guy, but they don't get to draw two. I think I have to do it that way. Oh, that's a bummer. Because this gives menace, by the way. Maybe I was supposed to wait so I could stop them from equipping Lost Jite. Get some extra pressure on. Okay. Trying to lower their creature count here. Gigapede plus Highway Robbery is not the greatest of combos. I'm still trying to trade creatures because this Lost Jite. I'm really trying to get this Ambush Gigapede into play and then use Highway Robbery to sack a land. I think this is just like kind of unfortunate in how things have lined up. But also our deck not having any like rares does make things tricky sometimes. Maybe I'm not supposed to go for my kill spell into open mana and just let this thing resolve. Because they could have had a Snakeskin Veil too, which also kind of wrecked me. So I could have just used that turret to do some other things. So if they attack me, I get to hit them back for 7. Which is pretty noteworthy. I'm at a high life total. If they play a small blocker, I get to Gigapede it. This card's pretty irritating. Kind of wishing I'd saved this to kill it. Getting on the other end of a blowout with a combat trick was really bad for me. Oh, gosh. What? They put the counter on that guy? No! Okay, well, we have to go for this, I think. I need to draw an untapped land here. Beautiful. This guy has trample, so even if they block, it doesn't matter here. So I deal 7 to them. Gosh, that Highway Robbery being able to get rid of this desert was super clutch for me. Now I can play this and activate it. This is crazy. I thought they were going to play it and then equip, like, put a counter on this so I couldn't kill it with a Gigapede. I guess they weren't playing around Gigapede. I guess Greg was right. Gigapede coming in clutch there. It's not only a lethal attacker, but it also is doing Gigapede things. No! Oh, ha! I drew another one. That's funny. Get wrecked. They like their last card, so that's some extra information I get. Okay. I think I just want to activate this, maybe. Put them to 4, start growing this. If I draw land, I can play this and activate it. Or I could just play this and then, yeah, I'm just gonna play this. It's way better. It's better. They're at 5. What are they gonna do? Because I have a 5/4 currently. Path to Exile. Okay. Well, I'm shocked they didn't get rid of Hellspur Brute. But now all 3 of my Blood Hustlers are down, so that's a little bit of my reach gone. But they're dead on board if they didn't draw something this turn. Okay, they drew that, which is maybe their best possible draw, depending on what they flip. Okay, they flipped a land. So a big draw step for me here. Because they can go block here, and eat my guy, take 2. Pain. I don't currently have a reason to play lands or hold lands. I don't have any mana sinks left. I have Vault Plunderer. Attack all. Counter. Block. Block here. They're dead. We're going to go for it. They could have drawn something. I don't think they did. Nice. You have to be bold. Be bold. It must be bold. Another good win. See you folks next round. Welcome. We have a good hand here. No 2-drop that's aggressive, but we have ways to spend our mana. Okay. We'll get to see this guy in action, maybe. Still just going to plot this. This card's pretty good. Okay. I'm going to play the Gila Courser here. Reason being, it can trade with this even if they play their desert out. And it still blocks the Lackey. That was a close pick, though. Oh, no. Oh. No blocks. I do not need all these mountains. So this turn I'm going to take 6, I think. 7 from this, I'll go to 5. Then I'll have to kill that, maybe. So I need all the swamps I can get so I can play this and Bedevil. But then I might be able to stabilize here. Yep. Yep. I go to 5. They have a huge board. But this guy gets me another 3-1. Okay. Yep. Hold back on defense. Hope for the best. I think my attack with Gillicourser might have been too ambitious. There, I've said it. They seem like the sort of deck that would have a lot of deserts, but I might have to go to 1 and hope that they can't kill me. If they don't have anything to kill me already. They had a really good start here, I think. I mean, this card's really good. Maybe I got too greedy. I think I might have. Maybe I was supposed to devil this earlier. No! I tried. I think if I had, because their deck is a value deck fundamentally at the top end there. I think if I had played that game differently, I could have won though. So what I needed to do, or not won, but survived longer and maybe had more of a game. What I needed to, I wasn't confident I could beat them in a long game, so I was like, okay, if we get into a racing spot, as long as I stabilize at a few life, it's going to be okay. But what ended up happening was because I didn't trade Gillicourser for Greenblade, it outgrew it. And so if I had traded my 4-2 for their guy, and then on my turn I just played like my Sandstorm Summoner or whatever it was, I didn't really need to get an extra card advantage there with the Gillicourser. I could have just had some blocks, had some more life total to work with, gotten this little engine down, had my Blood Hustler in play, killed their flyer anyway, and then maybe been able to grind out a little bit of the game. The problem was I didn't feel confident against their deck, so I kind of wanted to go fast, but I still think that would have been a better line. Anyway, fun deck. Didn't run into the best matchups. Got a little bit unlucky flooding out a couple times, but that's how it goes sometimes, and still a lot of fun. And it was great having Greg on as a guest. As I said already, highly recommend his content and checking out all of his stuff, his Twitch stream, his YouTube channel, and his Twitter, all linked in the description down below. System Magic, if you want to search it up. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. If you made it all the way till the end of the video, leave hashtag Outlaw Magic in the comment section down below, because this is an awesome Outlaws deck. And of course, we had System Magic Greg on as a guest. That's going to do it for this one, though. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.